Hello my dears, this is Sarah from sheholdsdearly.com, and today I'm going to show you the last step to my mantle makeover. So if you've been following along, this is take 3. I first of all added in the fireplace to my Craigslist mantle and painted it white. Then as time went on, I decided that was still a little bit plain and I wanted to add in some detail. So I added in the contact paper, the marble contact paper. I added on some trim and some baluster pieces that go on the front of a kitchen island. That was the second try. It's getting closer. Now I've decided to add on a wooden wreath that is a little applique piece that I bought, and I've got some more of the trim that I had used around the marble, and I will be shaping it to make sort of some rectangle pieces to put on the face of the mantle. I also chose a different color. This is in the master bedroom of our house, and I love the colors that I have on my armoire on this side of the room and also on my bifold closet doors. But I didn't want to do too much of that color. I wanted to coordinate. So what you can do a lot of times if you have a color that you love but you're not wanting to drown everything in that color, just go a step lighter or a step darker. I'm going to go a step darker so everything coordinates, but there is some variety, and we will be painting the mantle all that color, and I think we'll be done at that point. So let's get started. All right, so we now have our work area ready. We've cut our little trim pieces. So I'm doing the wooden wreath in the middle, and then I wanted like 2 rectangles. So I've got miter edges on the outside of these rectangles, and then I want them to kind of come in towards the wreath and just open up and let that wreath be the centerpiece there. So that's all ready to go. We now have wiped everything down. We've taken off our decorations. We've pulled out that awesome fireplace insert, which I got on Amazon. I will link in the description below. And then we are getting ready now I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out. My friend Reba is helping me. You've seen her helping me with the cleaning. So she's here today, and we are gonna pull the mantle out kind of more into the center of the room, put down some good drop cloths, and go ahead and tack up our trim. All right, so we now have measured off the exact center of the mantle and taped the wooden wreath in where we are gonna put this in. And I find a lot of times when I'm doing a project like this, you want it to look really level. We get really careful about the centering of it, but you must make it level too. So make sure you get that done. I now am going to just attach this with this Porter cable pin nailer. And I'm also attached to a air compressor also made by Porter Cable, which I will link for you in the description below. I'm just gonna put maybe like 4 pins in. I decided not to glue this with wood glue. I'm not gonna caulk it because, as you know, I change my mind a lot. So it would be a lot easier for me to just pop this thing off in the future and change the look of the mantle if I do decide to do that. I'll see if I can get away with just adding the nails. All right, I'm moving on to the trim pieces now. I am going to just take some sandpaper and just scuff up a little, knock off some of that on the end of that trim work. And then I'm gonna tape this up in place, which is gonna be fun to see all put together. I'm gonna nail it in place with those little pins, fill the holes with some spackle, and then we're about ready to go with our paint. We're getting really close. All right, so this is harder than it looks. Surprise, surprise, that's usually what we run into with DIY, right? We are having trouble making everything level. I do think that we should be using a level. I will put that in the directions for your supplies. And I'm also looking at this now and it doesn't look like what I thought it was gonna look like in my head. I really think we need to close this off and put two true rectangles on here. I think that would look very French to have that little bit of a paneled look framed out. And so I'm gonna go ask my husband to cut some more. He's gonna be very happy with me. I broke the news to my husband. He said, sure, I could do that for you, because he's nice like that, and that's the kind of guys you marry. But the problem is, the scraps we have aren't going to work. I now have to go to Home Depot. This is the reality of tiny, even tiny little DIY projects. How many trips to Home Depot does she need to take? So we're gonna go get all new trim and have to recut it. Here we go. So this is what we're dealing with. Absolute pouring rain. And you know we're gonna have to sit, or not sit, but stand in line, because Home Depot doesn't let you in because of the pandemic. Oh my gosh. It's not giving a rep. All for a stupid piece of trim that's gonna cost me like $2. Alright, we made it in the rain. We're like drenched rats. We did not have to sit, we did not have to wait in line. Apparently, Home Depot is letting people in as fast as they want. Maybe they feel sorry for us right now, I don't know. It was like running through a small river to get here. I should have worn rain boots. But that's what you do when you need a $2 piece of trim. Alright, let's look at what we've got here. There's one piece. You guys are killing me. The drama continues. I admit that I was looking at these upside down. We do have enough. Something's starting to go right. All right, we made it back from Home Depot, and I had my husband recut all of these. I think it's a good call. It was a good design call. I had to make a decision, and that was the time to do it. So I've got it all taped up. I did use a little level, which really helped me feel confident that it was all working out. It looks like it would be easy just to simply tape up pieces of trim. I'm telling you, they move just a tiny bit, and then the whole thing's off, and then the tape slips a little, and you want to have a level. And I did pencil in some spots to kind of guide me. So I've got one up, and now I'm ready to nail it into place. I'm like, I think the hardest stuff is behind us. Woo! It sparked! We are ready to paint. We made it. I am choosing the Sherwin-Williams Pro Classic. I like a satin finish. I think it has a more vintage look to it. I steer away from high gloss unless, maybe for my trim work, I would do high gloss. But so this is satin. The color is Analytical Gray. And if you're a Sherwin-Williams loyalist, you will want to use the code SW7051. All right, I know there is some argument about when to remove your frog tape or your masking tape, and I could have used a tape that has a little less tack. It is labeled specifically low tack. It worked out with what I was doing. That's not real marble. If you've been following along with the Mantle saga, that is just simply contact paper, but it could have stuck more than it did. It worked out. But I like to remove my tape when the paint is wet. That might be a testament to my impatience with my projects, trying to get them done. But I also like to understand what bled through and be able to clean it up when it's wet. So I remove it right away. As soon as I'm done painting that section for the last time, I pull off the tape, and then there is sometimes a little bit of bleed through that I need to deal with. And then if it's too dry, I could use a razor blade, or I could use a wet Q-tip and just clean up that edge. All right, so a little painting 101 for you. Every piece is different, every room is different. You wanna look at the space in sections and pick off the detailed spaces first, because they have the weirdest brush strokes going on. So for instance, that little wreath, I had to spend some time on just trying to get those bristles everywhere to cover it. And so once I got that taken care of, then I came back and I smoothed out those nice flat surfaces that really show the quality of the painting. So start with your details first, and a lot of times you're like outlining a space, and then come back over and get those flat spaces done next. Now, like on the top of this mantle, it's a lot. Like there's no way I'm gonna get enough paint up there to get that whole area nice and smooth in one long stroke. So it's okay to divide the top of a dresser or top of a mantle, divide that in half in your mind and get one half of it nice and smooth. And by that, I'm meaning like you want to have long, even brush strokes, make your line exactly horizontal, and then work on the second half and try to blend those together, try to work quickly for that middle section. That's gonna give you a really nice finish. All right, as you can see, we are all finished. I ended up doing 3 coats, and I probably could have gotten away with 2 coats, but I really like painting, and this wasn't that hard of a project, and I had a bunch of extra leftover paint. So I did 3 coats. I love, love, love the color. I love the satin finish. This is a really nice alternative for actually chalk paint, and then I didn't have to wax, but it still has that nice matte finish. And so I will be using this paint again in the future. This gray color I pulled out of the carpet, and then I wanted a darker tone from the closet doors and the armoire in this room, and I feel like I really achieved it. What I was surprised at though was how much I felt like it had this concrete feel to it, like it was almost a stone mantle or something, and I really, really love that. So yay, I think we're done. I did want to tell you that this wooden wreath that I got, I found it on Etsy. It took me a long time to find actually, the one that I wanted. It's almost 5 inches up. It has a ribbon, it has the little laurel branches. It is made of birch, it's really high quality. It came in a 2-pack, so I'm gonna give the second one away. And the easiest way that I've found to do a giveaway is to have people head over to my blog, leave me a comment below the blog post that matches this video, and just tell me what your favorite thing about She Holds Dearly is. I like that kind of feedback too, so I can continue to offer that for you. And then I will choose a winner. Let's do it in 5 days. I'll leave this giveaway open for 5 days. So I will leave this giveaway open until June 13th, and then I will contact the winner and send you this little wreath applique. And so you can put this on a piece of furniture or something, and you can get the same look. All right, before you head out, also grab the link below if you don't already have the password to get into my subscriber library, and that way it gives you access to all of the printables, and there's recipes in there, there's DIY projects, building plans, things like that. So you can grab that on your way out. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I do post regularly, and I share my DIY design advice and our vintage farm life. All right, take care, and I will talk to you soon.